Hey guys, welcome back to Glam, and I'm here with another fragrance review. And this is one that I've worn for a few times, and I was going to wear a couple more before I came out with this review, but I got a lot of feedback today, so I was like, this is a great time to do it, because there's really not that much information on it. So from the house of Lattafa, it's Lattafa Lail Maleki Moroccan Blue. Now Moroccan Blue is written up here also in blue, and I never noticed it until the light hits it, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's right there. But it's a nice, cute little baby blue bottle with the nice little dice cap. Pretty flat, 100 ml. Let's go ahead and talk about it. It is an Eau de Parfum concentration. Let's talk about the notes, and let's talk about what you could relate it to. And we'll kind of take it from there. So you have top notes of citrus, bergamot, and aromatic spices, heart notes of floral blends, amber, and musk. And then in the base, you had oud, sandalwood, and patchouli. How this comes off of skin, in the opening, it's kind of like this really dry, woody, like a dry sandalwood with some citruses and spices. But as it dries down, you're still going to get that dry woodiness with those citruses, but somehow it starts to sweeten up. So for the most part, you're going to get the spices, you're going to get the citrus. The citrus kind of stays for most of the life of the fragrance, and you're going to get that dry woodiness. There's a touch of oudiness, but it's just like, it's literally coming off as drier wood. By no means is it like a skanky oud at all. You'll have a little bit of an amberiness and definitely some muskiness, although realistically speaking, in a Middle Eastern fragrance, you're most likely going to get muskiness anyway. Honestly, you're going to get mostly like a nice woodiness with citruses and spices, and as it dries down, there's a sweetness that just kind of starts peeking out, and it's actually incredibly pleasant. I never noticed the sweetness the first time I wore it, but after that first time, I started noticing it more and more as this dried down. So the only thing that I can relate it to, but it's, in my opinion, not a clone at all, is it does have some similarities to something in the vein of Mont Blanc Legend. Do I think it's the same? No, hold on, I have them sprayed right here. No, Mont Blanc Legend definitely comes off a lot sweeter. This does kind of do the same thing or a similar thing. So in any occasion in which you'd wear like something like Legend or Purse or whatever, you could wear this. It's that type of fragrance. It's definitely like same ballpark. Again, not a clone at all. This definitely has more of a Middle Eastern vibe. The woodiness, because of how dry it is, and it has like a little bit like of an oudy touch. Again, this is not a pronounced oud. It's not a skanky oud. It's really not even a Eastern oud. It's more of a Western. It's a woodiness, just a little bit more dry than usual. Let's go on to performance, because that's what got me on this, because I definitely thought that this was a weaker performer. However, after wearing it the last couple times around people, this gives you more than 8 hours of longevity, but with an additional 1.5 to 2 hours of a skin scent. So technically you're going to get about 10 hours, but you're definitely going to smell it for at least 8. I didn't realize that the first time I wore it, but I guess with repeated use, I started noticing it was present for more than I initially thought. And on top of that, projection is about like an arm's length. Sillage on this is what is well above average. So anytime I was passing by anyone or someone was like in front of me, like I would stop, but my scent trail would just kind of keep going. So the sillage on this, it's incredibly long lasting. So like I was getting really good sillage after the 7-hour mark. To me, that's really good. So I have no issues with sillage. Sillage is definitely well above average. And in terms of who can wear this, I think it definitely leans a little bit more masculine, but in my opinion, pretty unisex. I think it's like not as masculine as something like Mont Blanc Legend, because that has like more of the lavender that I think is going to run masculine, whereas this just has kind of like a woodiness with citruses and spices and a nice little muskiness, and I would say a really well-balanced dose of sweetness. You're not going to get as much in the opening, but once this dries down, it's really nice. So I'm going to say this is definitely more unisex than anything in the Legend or DNA. Maybe something that's going to be better on a more mature audience, maybe like 25 plus. However, I think a lot of people are going to like this. It's going to be really hard to dislike it. It's a very lovable fragrance. In terms of where you can wear it, that's the best part. This is incredibly versatile. Day, night, all season. Spring, summer, into fall is going to be the best, but honestly, you can wear it year round. Date night, formally, this is probably the most appropriate work fragrance that comes from like the Middle Eastern houses, just because it's incredibly inoffensive and it's like, it doesn't project too much. It gives you a good amount. This is just probably a jack of all trades. Like if you needed a signature scent and you wanted it on a budget, this is what I would I would absolutely recommend this to you. So let's talk about compliments, because that's where this really shined. I immediately got compliment when the first time someone smelled me today, like, which is not that normal. And they actually said like, hey, this actually really goes well with your aesthetic. And I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing to hear. And I was complimented by, I think, 3 people today at work. So I wore this today. I've worn it before, but it wasn't around this many people. This was the first time I wore it to work. Typically, I like to wear something multiple times around people, but I got so much feedback today that I was like, okay, this kind of just hit the market. There's not a whole bunch of information on it. I think people should know about it because it's a Lattafa, and Lattafa's been crushing it lately, so why not tell you about it? It definitely gets compliments, and bang for buck, it's under $30. This is like probably one of my better buys lately because it's not talked about much. It's definitely slept on. It's a hidden gem, and I think it's a really good fragrance, especially for the $1 that you pay for it. Again, if you are looking for like a signature scent or just like a daily driver and you want to not pay too much, I would highly recommend looking into this. If you kind of like that woodiness that I was talking about with the sandalwood, a little muskiness, a nice citrus and spice profile with just the perfect amount of sweetness. Again, just like a super easy daily driver. It's fresh, it's perfectly sweetened, and it kind of has a little bit of everything, just enough spice to keep it interesting. I like it. This is another one that I'm going to keep, and I try to tell you at the end of the video, am I going to keep it or sell it? I sell a lot of them. This one it makes sense to keep it because I can just spray and go whenever I need something. And I really like to keep like versatile fragrances. It's just really easy to wear. If you've tried this, comment down below, let people know what you think. As always, if you like this video, if you liked it, be subscribed to our channel, hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop another video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!